And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Humankind. We'll be picking up here in the beginning of the Contemporary Era. This is going to be where we either win or lose the run. One thing I did sort of take a quick peek at before starting the stream was the cultural wonders. We're in the last era, so this is the last of the unclaimed wonders. Well, I basically am running vanilla. There's no expansions here, so there might be a few more in the expansions. But what we've got here are actually not that super interesting. Pentagon, if we end up getting units with bombard abilities, which I think probably the bomber is a class of bombard. No, I wasn't sure. Presumably is quite powerful. Sydney Opera House, I'm not quite sure what a settled city is. Presumably it's places that we as a nation have settled and not conquered or had spawned in as a minor. And then Christ the Redeemer here is on all cities. So these three bonuses are pretty nice. The Empire State Building one, we aren't doing a lot of trade because there's two nations and we are at war with each other. So this one's a bit disappointing. We are going to try to get as many as we can because fame is what we need. We are currently in second, being 2,300 behind first. First has also not aired up to the current age. So they'll probably get a influx of fame when they do so. We actually get a couple stars in the current era just from airing up. So we probably want to kill some more troops. We might take some more territory. We'll see how the war goes. We're getting influence at a decent tick, so I wouldn't be surprised if we pick up that. We're mainly looking to get enough fame that when we trigger the end game, we actually win. There's a couple different ways to trigger the end game. Okay, so we got these torpedo boats. The torpedo boats are going to be off hunting these guys. Get them in range, and it looks like we can. So we'll start off the turn here by engaging in a naval battle. This is a naval battle versus land units. It should mostly go in our favor. Round, it gives them their round. They're being somewhat smart and trying not to engage the naval forces with land units. Although there's no escape for them, so that just means we're just going to run them down a little left with the torpedo boats. Here we go. Victory. Tech-wise, we're currently researching Research Institute. We did do a rough queue of techs up for the next era before we ended last stream. We're going to pick up Research Institute here for the 100 fame. I believe this is 100 fame for whoever researches it first. It might just be 100 fame for whoever researches it, in which case that won't really help us get advantage. That's one of the reasons we're trying to research it first, is in case it's for the first only. Still building torpedo boats there, yeah. We're now in the contemporary era as Japan, so we've got robotics labs that we will be wanting to build pretty much everywhere we can get away with building it. There we go. We're going to build those. We got enough stability here that that's no problem. We can just build all of those. And probably when we're done with those, we'll be looking into maybe building some which I think we'll go full science here. an aerodrome for warship or for airplanes. Judicial control, People's Assembly, Secret Police. The dreaded judgment. Living in a democracy, it is critically important that people have faith in the judiciary, with illegal judgments having impacts in all area of life, from commerce to personal rights. Now is time to decide how the justice system will be monitored. So we're going to get +3 stability on district, or +5 stability on garrison and extra detection. Probably open inspections if we can run it. Yeah, to keep the influence in emblematic districts. I'm going to hold off on this still because I really don't need the stability. And I think we want to stack up enough influence to pick up the first wonder. We do have an ongoing battle.
At the moment, the legend you are creating makes you quite a challenger. You're close to leaving the greatest mark.
As our stealth guys here continue to shoot ships and stuff from the skies, scoring us another kill. If they knew where we are, that could be quite dangerous. But apparently, stealth units here are having fun being stealthy. And the AI doesn't necessarily know how to handle it, apparently. Okay, now it's their round. We're still in stealth, so they don't know where any of our 6 units are. Out of range. Can I get you in range to shoot those guys down there? A little bit. Can't get that one. Do some damage to that one. Oh, we didn't actually have firing range over there. That's fine. But yes, this is an interesting, our agents here, Austro-Hungarian agents, have stealth. So we've got this whole weird stealth battle going on where our units can see the enemy, but the enemy can't actually see us. We started the fight, so that's going to be their turn. I think the fight's going to be over the turn. Round 3 of 6. So this is going to keep going on and on. We're going to slowly attrit their forces down. And then have to start the fight over probably again. That's the end of that turn. But yeah, we're going to try to catch up, overtake them in fame, and then try to end the game. It's kind of the plan here. How far will we push humanity so we're reminded of the ways we can end the game? Getting all the contemporary era stars, lock all the endgame techs, eliminate the other empires, vassalize all the empires, send a mission to Mars, or render the world unfit for human life, which has actually been disabled by default. That's the have the world end due to climate change. We got an army technically lost at sea. We're going to get it to move to not be at sea. And you're now built. That's good to see. And of course, we're going to get you to build your contemporary era emblematic districts. Don't want to replace the Commons Core, no. That works for me. Okay, it's down here. Here we go. So, 4 districts there. Again, I think we're going to focus mostly on science if we can. And not actually on industry right now. Okay, so we got a naval battle and a land battle. Oh, that was not how I expected. So I sort of started a battle here, well, I started a battle by getting attacked, and these guys joined in as reinforcements, which is not what we wanted. Try to keep them out of the fighting. So while they're taking their turn, we can pop into the other fight and do a bit of that one. Another exploding boat. Okay, so got a battle while they do that one. Pop back into this one. Waiting for our turn. I'm presumably not supposed to be able to see. There's somewhere out there in the fog war. Really? That's weird. Am I allowed to attack that? I'm not allowed to attack that person. Screening ship rules. Okay. Only got one sub back here. Or not sub, torpedo boat. This is gonna be a bad fight because we've got torpedo boats involved. Click back in the other one. I think this might be a situation where I'm actually confusing the game by flipping back and forth between both battles. Because we're seeing the deployment zone area colors, which isn't technically what we're supposed to be saying, I think. You're moving. Let's pop back into this battle, try to finish off the last combat round of this one. It's their turn, so we'll let them finish off that battle. Off into this battle. We got one more turn of our own. And then we're probably going to try a fallback so we can try to save the land units that weren't ever supposed to be in this battle. We end the round. Yeah, it's done for the moment. And this one's down for the moment. Okay. That's all the combat for the moment. Everything else looks to be going fine, so we cycle the turn. Then we are going to have you sail over. Because the only way we're right now beating these guys at sea is attrition. Our torpedo boat, until we get nuclear subs, which is something we're going to be working towards soon. Until we get nuclear subs, torpedo boats are the best we've got for the current problem. And the torpedo boats don't necessarily have that great of durability when it comes to stealth, so they're not... Like, they're pop-efficient trading versus these capital warships, but they're definitely not unit-to-unit efficient trading, which is a little bit of a pain. Okay, so we've lost all the torpedo boats, so we might as well do the fallback work. Just asking, wow, already contemporary era, how many streams did I miss? I just started the industrial last I watched. I think you only missed the one. The, the industrial era, I think it's the 4th era? The run's going reasonably well. We're in second. We've caught up a little bit with the people that we're trying to, how to describe it? That we're trying to catch up to. Okay, so we did successfully disengage. Pop back into this battle. Sort of taking advantage of the fact that we've got stealth. To just sort of pepper the guys here.
Sorry.
Actually, no, we didn't have most of the guy. I don't have anyone to attack anymore. It's fine. Place where I can move you. I suppose we're going to use reconnaissance. We're trying to find the enemy as well. And then you obviously have no one to attack. I know about at least. So the Russians get to take their turn in this battle. Most of which we can't see anymore. Most of what's left is held up in the city, I think. And we're just taking advantage of that we've got sort of stealth assassins here. Shoot at them around units. Yeah, I don't think we're going to finish this battle in a winning state. We might finish the battle in a situation where we win via attrition. This is probably what it feels like, vice versa, if we flip it around. Trying to get rid of submarines with battleships is what they're probably experiencing. We've got a bunch of stealth units and they don't have any good detector units. They're not able to actually find the units that are giving them problems. Nope, one of my units actually got spotted. Wasn't careful enough with my positioning and got detected. Oh well. I think that's actually the end of this combat for the turn. And to be fair, we only just started the Contemporary Era. The start of the stream was basically the start of the Contemporary Era. We, during the last stream, entered it. So we're like 2-3 turns into the Contemporary Era at this point, so not very deep into it. We've literally not researched any techs in the Contemporary Era. We're working on our first one. Back in the battle here. Ships back in range. Ooh, multiple ships are back in range. We'll see if the ships stay in range. Pulls back out of range. Which is a smart move for the ship. I'm not blaming the AI for making a smart move. What's kind of going on here from a mechanics standpoint is the AI recognizes it has a defensive bonus for holding the city defenses. And I recognize that we have a severe disadvantage for actually getting within detection range. So I'm hanging back out at outside of its detection range and just taking pot shots where we can. And for them to stop that would require them coming out of the fortifications, which is something they could totally do. They've got enough forces that could probably overrun me, but that they are sort of passive-aggressively unwilling to do. We'll move back up there for some detection. Okay. Let's see, there's still a couple guys over there. And it's not... not invincible, as you can see. We've lost 2 of the 7 units here, just by being close enough to be detected. And watching the detected unit get absolutely wrecked. Because again, this is a battle where we're winning by the fact that we're winning in a nutritional sense, because they don't know where our units are to properly counterattack. I think that's the last turn. The combat will be done. It'll actually end up in a draw, I believe. Although if just in raw naval forces destroyed, I think it was worth it. Even though it was a 6-turn long affair. Picked the militarist star for that battle. We lost 2, they lost 1 gunner, 6 escort ships, 3 melees, 2 torpedo vessels, and a gunner. Or 2 of our gunners. 2 of our stealth gunners. Oh, can't be done by a trading army. So I was driven off. They know where I am, and we're not exactly hidden at the moment. Okay. Okay, we're gonna get Yamamani districts in you. Where are you recommending there? Is that on top of district? No. Next spot. You're recommending there? Sure. Recommendation there. Okay. A more experienced player probably knows when to ignore the recommendations on where to place districts, but I'm not that experienced player, so I have a habit of using them. Okay. So then we go ahead and cycle the turn again. How long am I considered retreating? I'm apparently classed as ready, so I might not be considered retreating anymore. In which case, if that's the case, we're going to go start siege back up again. Okay. Although this situation, I have a flag, so they're probably going to come out and take the flag. The other one was me attacking them, not defending. Go work on the rest of the map while they're doing their opening turns. So these guys are stealthing up, so we'll let them do that for a bit. Place a robotic, or market quarter with a robotics quarter. Robotic quarter down there. I don't want to go over the top of our existing district. Is there nowhere else I can actually place in that district? Maybe. Okay, I guess we're only getting the one there. Place one of those there and see if that allows us to get over in that area. We have an event, the Great Smog, towering cold chimneys crowd the skylines of Kerma, striking testaments of the city's industrial power. What is also undeniable, however, is that the thick plumes of black smoke belching from their mouths are the same stacks. Often the smog lingers, and together with the abundance of domestic fires and factory furnaces of the age, the citizens find themselves living in an ashen pall. For days, coughing and choking, respiratory illness, even some deaths are being blamed on the smog. How should you respond? I suppose we could innovate. And then we get trade money for science and get bountiful. Sure. Anyway, we've got this fight going on. Apparently our army is still successfully stealth, so they don't know where we are. Okay. Shoot at the Cossacks. So we can see where they are, so we can shoot at them. Oh, that one can't shoot, but you can shoot at the conscripts there. Okay. And we know this is interfering with the production of that city just by having the battle so close to it. So this is arguably the longer we can stall this battle, the better it just works for us. Even if we're not necessarily going to have a decisive victory here. Oops, I got myself detected there. That guy might die. But not this turn. It'll be next turn at least.
With 30 research quarters, I think we can... You have unlocked the Research Institute. It will not merely provide additional answers, but open up a whole range of ever more perplexing questions.
Got us 100 fame. Oh, that's a bunch of land units. They're about to regret being at sea. Of course, we still have that land battle. We did lose. The one I had detected did get completely jumped. These are the ironclads that were giving us early problems earlier. Okay, I'm detective. Might as well shoot him up with the land units. To be fair, I've been firing from a stationary position. Yeah, it just came out of their own city walls to engage us. They would probably find us pretty easily. Then we get one more fire round. And that's the end of that turn. Okay, your turn to build your robotics lab. You only get to build one, so it's going to be a nice, easy build. And back to our battle. Okay, that's that turn. Pick up another technology, so we have aeronautics. So we'll start probably trying to get some aerodromes going, so we can get some planes. Gotta stop the larger land army than the smaller one. Surprised they were actually able to retreat. Apparently they retreat towards me instead of away from me? Okay. We'll get an aerodrome up, and then that'll allow us to build some biplanes. Or better, if we've researched better by the time it's done. And you'll probably want an aerodrome. Put it out on the islands down here. And this one has lots of little buildings that are going to do little bits, although 42 science is a lot. Complete rush to get it done, though. Actually, need someone on food. There we go. And yeah, back to the battle. Back to shooting at warships, apparently. bring one of them down. Reposition this guy. There, I should be able to. Another ironclad at the bottom. This one's aerial warfare. Deals aluminum. Allows us to build the airport. And then also is going to allow us to build our emblematic unit and strategic bomber. Although more importantly, in the short run, it's going to give us access to aluminum, which we can quickly build up. And this is going to result in our retreat in another turn, I think. I forgot if it's the attack of the retreats or the defend of the retreats in these sort of battles. It might be the defend of the, or it might be the attack of the defeat in the retreats, so we might actually not retreat. But... turn. Claim a wonder. Interestingly enough, they have not aired up to join us in this final era. So that means we get to pick a wonder uncontested out of the 5 or 4 remaining wonders here. I think for our purposes, the strongest one initially is going to be Sydney Opera House. No, that's actually a pretty nice place to put it. We'll put it there. Okay. And for the moment, let's work to get that done extra quick. Drops it to 5 turns. So unless I've got another place I can place you... Okay, so by placing the hamlet there, I can now place you there. Cool. And then afterwards, work on the Opera House. So the enemy fleet, what's going on is the Ironclads have a ship of the line, so they get combat bonus for having 2 adjacent friendly units in this situation. So they're sort of making a donut out there at sea to get the bonuses. Just making them tankier. But because they're not doing adequate recon, they're not able to actually do any damage. we go. That's the end of the battle. Apparently they're just starting the battle up again. Okay. So yeah, I think it's the attacker retreats. So we were still standing in the same position. And they just had a different attacker attack. Starting up another 6 turns of them having their city unable to do anything, while our stealth guys just have fun taking pot shots at their guys. All they have to do to technically win the battle is come out and send that flag. But they're a little too cowardly for that. Okay, turn. Okay. And back to the battle. Back to shooting at Russian warships. Medieval age knights being gunned down by Austro-Hungarian stealth troops. Okay, that's that turn. And the turn. Research the next tech. Okay, so this city was not blessed with any of the aluminium, so it'll work on City Opera House. Battle. Let's see, can we see any of them from there? We can. Another ironclad goes to the bottom. Pass that turn. Got an agrarian star from the
The
population
curves
growth.
of
It's
this
good to see.
glorious opera house are even more impressive when you consider the fact that the plans were rescued from the trash can.
Fans were rescued from the trash can. There's the Sydney Opera House. Didn't some of my cities have aluminum? That's a good question. Assumed we had aluminum. There's some uranium up there. Not what I'm looking for right now. That one has aluminum. Aluminium. Coming up there next to the uranium, okay. Don't think we built this place an aerodrome either. Put that next to the airport. Oh, and you have some aluminum. Somewhere. There it is. We do need some aluminum so we can build our era unique unit. We need some of it to build it, and we need... Looks like it needs 3 to be built at full, at normal cost. This, I think, is objectively better than the biplane, so we'll just grab it instead of the biplane. Maybe a question of whether or not we want to pick up the regular bomber for land units. Maybe a combination of the two, we'll see. But yeah, I think we're just doing the aluminum mine there. Okay, back to the battle. You know, this time, okay, they technically can't win this turn because they can't get on the flag, but they tried to go to the flag, they'd, you know, detect my units, and they still have enough firepower that could probably delete the 4 spies out there. Pretty easily, but they're not gonna do it.
12 military stars? Well, there's someone who likes to get out and see the world.
Or the world is trying to get in and see me. I'm not quite sure in this game, to be fair. They're 1.8k ahead of us.
This first airport will require a lot of land and will devour a lot of kerosene. One hopes it is worth it.
Got a builder star, nice. So we're up to 6 stars, although the game ends if we pick up all the stars. So maybe not in a rush to get all the stars. We're not yet winning on fame. So it's already running away. So you built your airfield. Yeah, go ahead and pick up the police force. And we must not build a... We didn't build an aerodrome here, so let's quickly build an aerodrome as well. So we can get some planes, or build some planes here if we wish. I'm going to build a mixed fleet of fighters and bombers. That might not be the way to do it. Like 4 and 3. At an event, the Mournful Song. This route, whaling in the seas around the Empire, goes back centuries, but the advent of the modern fishing technique now means that the great beasts are hunted to ever-increasing numbers. Whale oil is less used for lighting these days, but the meat and blubber still find many applications, and is considered a delicacy on some shores, especially around these locations. Most find the practice an outrage, though, and call for its prohibition. What is your choice? Ban, so we'd lose our whaling, and be prohibited from building more, but gain 10 stability for 10 turns. We can regulate it, prohibits the construction of it, so we can't build any more. We get prosperous. Or overlook. Get overproductive. I probably don't need the food. We'll go ahead and just go with the ban. Oh, we've still got the fight here. Our guys engage in the magic of stealth. Okay, that's the end of that combat for that turn.
I think only of my people. Remember that.
They want white peats. I could technically tell them no, and just drive the war on longer. We're gonna refuse for the moment.
There's just no way to...
Because yeah, for the moment, this is... Okay, technically we're not getting any more military stars. But as long as I can shut their forces down, eventually we might be able to take some of their territory. And this is tying their stuff up, so this is good for us, letting the war go on. Okay. Ongoing war can be ended.
With a first aerial unit, battles move to the skies. A great step forward, unless you happen to be walking underneath.
Unless you happen to be walking underneath. Ah, yes. So by default, they default to air patrol. I could turn patrol off and do air strike if I wanted to. Do I have... Oh, they can either be patrolling or airstrike, because they default on patrol. I can't do airstrike. Okay, so we turn them off airstrike, so we can do our air patrol, because right now there isn't going to be any enemy aircraft, especially in that area. So we should probably be open to doing strike runs instead of patrol runs. kill one of their stealth units. Mutually assured destruction from the stealth units. Although apparently not that exactly mutual, I suppose. Our units are pretty survivable in comparison to their medieval stealth unit. Yeah. The battle's over. The battle begins. Oh, that's chariots. Yeah, get rid of the chariots. And of course, they brought their warships back into the fight. We get to take some shots at the ironclads. They get closer to the shoreline. Okay, that's that fight for the turn.
What do you want? Why are you here?
Could ask for the surrender, but we apparently pick up no war score, even though we're doing lots of unit destruction. So it would just be
It was merely a passing.
just be a white piece, which is not exactly what we're down for. There we go. We got uranium enrichment. Yeah, we probably want some more strike craft, honestly. So before we get to that, let's get back to this wing, where we still got. Okay, so these two technically could do an airstrike. What's their range? We're gonna range. Yeah, so our armies are the enemies that we'd actually bomb are actually in the range of them up. Fair enough. Get these guys off of patrol. Also, patrol was being quite nice. It was decent reconnaissance in the area. We just got that unit detected. See how the enemy actually responds to that. Absolute destruction of the detected unit. Yeah, there goes another one of our spies. If you're wondering why the AI is taking these fights over and over and over again, it doesn't seem like they have any chance of winning them, that's why. It's worth 48 science, so we should definitely do that. Oh, here it's going to take quite a while to build. 50 plus stability would be nice if we needed it. We don't really need it. That's definitely not a priority to do. Actually provides us more horses, so we'll take that. 3 money is not bad. We'll take the influence and the stability. Revisit it when that comes done. And then, of course, this battle's still underway. Okay, so we're seeing the terrifying might of the Austro-Hungarians versus the AI in this game, apparently. Now, the Austro-Hungarians are unduly strong, but that, yeah, it doesn't have the Austro-Hungarian stealth, apparently, very well. Oh, you need someone assigned to food, because you're actually food negative at the moment. Yeah. Could grab some more planes. We're good with the other ones actually doing the planes they're doing, so it's not. Grab that, even though that doesn't do anything, just in case it does do something in the future. We'll grab the science one, because we're trying to work through the science tech tree a little faster. Almost everything there, back to the fight. Okay, that's the turn there. Second the turn again. Next one will have amphibious warfare, which will actually be pretty useful.
Speak fast, leave faster.
They want peace.
I'm sorry.
I don't need peace. War can keep going. Finally caught their land army there with the boats. Torpedo away! Here's actually one proper combat ship in here. Oh, I'm not allowed to torpedo if I'm immediately adjacent to it. Whoops. Okay, we didn't send the entire land fleet to the bottom there, but we probably will in the next turn. Protected the mournful song, too. The future Wales is assured, the seas echoes with their songs. Okay, another turn, another tech. So we can now build a rifleman. Look at that, take a little more. We'll be back to that. Can now build riflemen, bunkers, diesel submarines. We can upgrade the torpedo boats to diesel submarines and naval transport. So our transport units should transport faster and farther. Good.
Stop me if you heard this one before. Your opponent walks into an ambush battle.
They walked into an ambush battle. The problem here is, I think they have better boats. Although my guys might be using the modern boats. We'll retreat. I don't think having my stealth units take that fight would be a smart thing to do. Yeah, no, they got proper naval boats. That was not a fleet that our land forces were going to win. So we had an ambush, but it was ambushed with like the wrong units. We're being attacked again. They don't appreciate that these guys are technically laying siege to their city. But they're too cowardly to come out of the city to actually, capture the flag. Eventually, they'll run out of forces to counterattack with, and they'll let the siege go through, but that may be a while. And partisans! So that's what these guys are the upgrade to. These guys are upgraded partisans. Because of being Austria-Hungary gives you better partisans. So these guys are going to probably hold up for a little bit more of a beating than everything else they put on the hex, but not much more. And yeah, looking at the time, I think this is a good place to put a part break in. If you're watching on YouTube, we are going to continue from where we left off tomorrow. Watching on Twitch, it's going to be in a couple minutes. I'm going to take a moment to get up, stretch, sip some tea, and then we'll get right back to it. But yeah, in theory, we've got some actual strike capacity. We, add targets, I think, within strike range. Our bombers are not quite that long of a range yet, where they can just rain death on targets far away. Although I think we're a little bit more resistant to invasion at this point, because our bombers probably could rain bombs on targets, getting a little dangerously close to targets. In fact, we can, before we go ahead in this bit, we'll show off a bombing. Airstrike. Caused 25% losses to none of our own, because, wooden warships do not have AA guns. So yeah, I think the game is going well. We're catching up, although we're not catching up particularly fast. We've got 1.5k favor, or 1.5k fame to go before we catch up with them. And then even once we catch up with them, we have to end the game while still being ahead of them. So that's the rush we've got for the end of this run. So with that, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Till the next part. Bye for now.